Good morning and happy Friday. It is Friday today. And, okay, so full disclosure, I totally thought about watching the new movie on Netflix called Unfrosted, which directed and starred Jerry Seinfeld. But then I saw the scores on Rotten Tomatoes, which, actually, let me look at the scores again. Maybe I'll be kicking myself that I didn't watch it. And then you guys can yell at me for not watching it. Wouldn't that be funny? Okay, let's see. Rotten Tomatoes. Okay. And yeah, 25% Rotten Tomatoes. No, thank you. So yeah. Couldn't watch that. But that's okay because I had a backup plan in case what wound up happened, which it did. Momentarily, I will talk about that. First, I will get into my low, my high, my act of kindness. Honestly, my low is... What's my low? I mean, I guess it's my low and my high. See, admittedly, I've been doing something called acceptance resolution therapy, and I had my first session in well over a month, just because the person I see is like really, really busy. And like, for it to work, because admittedly I have a lot of unresolved like trauma. My thing is, I have a big problem letting things go. I really do. Like, if anyone wrongs me or if there's like a bad experience caused by someone else, like, I cannot let it go. So, in order for acceptance resolution therapy to work, I gotta bring up some of those things which, I mean, I didn't like to do, but my high was by the time the session was over, like, I started to cry. Good cry, of course, happy tears. So it was good. It was very good. Also, the fact that the Knicks won, which is part of what I'm going to get into today. My act of kindness was... What's my act of kindness? I know I did something kind for someone. I know I held the door for some people earlier yesterday. I did that. I assisted carrying things for somebody. I did that yesterday. So, yeah, it was a pretty good day overall. So to the New York Knicks, the fans of the New York Knicks, congratulations on making it to the second round. I mean, ideally, you should have closed it out at the Garden, but you know what? A win's a win. You're moving on to the second round. Jalen Brunson's a bad man. Okay? Jalen Brunson is a grown man. Okay? I'm pretty sure anyone watching this is going to agree. Jalen Brunson's a bad boy. He is. Love me some Jalen Brunson. Like, if he's not already the face of the New York Knicks, he's the face of the New York Knicks. I gotta say, because I follow basketball a little bit. Not as much as football, obviously. But, I follow basketball somewhat. I know the big name superstars. I saw the statistic just a couple days ago. This is the first year since 2005 where post-second round, we're sans KD, Kevin Durant, we're sans Steph Curry, and we're sans LeBron James. No KD, no Steph Curry, no LeBron James. In the second round. Like, what? Here's the thing. On the whole, and I know I'm going to be a lot of flack for this, I'll pick either KD or Steph Curry over LeBron James any day of the week. I really will. Probably KD more so than Steph Curry because, yeah, Steph Curry has more rings, but when Steph Curry got those first two championships, Who was the MVP of those finals? That's right, KD. Because KD, although I mean, there's some other players I like too. Nikola Jokic, Joker. Admittedly, I have a soft spot for Porzingis, which probably makes a few New York Knicks fans cringe. Jason Tatum, I like. I mean, I would still make the argument that the best player currently in the NBA right now, in spite of the fact that the Bucks are out, I'd probably say Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek Freak. That's what they call him. They call him the Greek Freak. So, I like those guys. I think there's a lot of basketball players. In fact, there's probably a bunch of basketball players I haven't named yet. That's because, there's so many I can't name all in one video. I didn't mention Kawhi. I didn't mention Chris Paul, CP3. I didn't mention Paul George. Again, I really could go on and on and on. But we gotta talk about the Knicks because if anyone is a Knicks fan, then anyone who's not a Knicks fan, let me tell you, it's excruciating. Because for years, management at the Knicks has been completely abysmal. Like, seriously, I want to say, you know what? Here's something that football fans will understand. Like, I don't know if he's still there, but like the GM at the owner of like the New York Knicks is like the Dan Snyder of football. Like the owner of the Knicks was to football what Dan Snyder was to football, or whoever the owner of the Indianapolis Colts is. That guy's pretty bad too. Point is, management not very good. Coaching not efficient. The only things you got going for you are the players. But you still need to have, like, legitimate star power. And, a shining light in the form of Jalen Brunson arrives. And he gets it done, man. Jalen Brunson got it done. And I happen to know all about how excruciating being a Knicks fan would be. Because I am a child. Well, here's the thing. I was born on December 20th, 1989. So yes, I am an 80s baby, but I totally, my entire childhood pretty much consisted in the 90s. I remember how close the Knicks would always get to at least the finals. And then they were stopped by one very, very bad man. A very, very bad man by the name of Michael Jordan. And as long as I'm talking about it, yes, Michael Jordan is better than LeBron James. You can deal with it. Okay? He is. Michael Jordan will always be better than LeBron James. I mean, to this day, I actually still remember where I was and what time it was when Michael Jordan officially retired. Because there was this one girl in my first grade class who was obsessed with Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan was actually so popular. I used to have like a Michael Jordan jersey. I mean, it was like a little kid's jersey, so Lord knows it never fit me now. But I had the jersey, right? And this girl was like so obsessed, she would actually try and like take the jersey away from me. Like rip it off of me and try and take the jersey. That's how obsessed she was. Which is actually the first instance of a woman actually chasing me. Hey. But joking aside. And the day Michael Jordan retired, I remember, it was 1998. Hold on. Because I remember what time it was. I remember where I was. What year was it? When did Michael Jordan retire? Okay, January of 1999. Okay. I remember where I was. I was in third grade. And it was 2 o'clock in the afternoon when he said he was officially going to retire. I was in gym class when that happened. I and especially that one girl I just mentioned who was really obsessed with Michael Jordan, I remember, like, some of us, like, looking at that clock in the gymnasium, like, paying attention to when the clock would hit 2, when the clock hits 2. And then, when it hit 2, that girl's like, Michael Jordan retired! Like, it was insane. Like, here's the thing. I knew Michael Jordan was great, because obviously, you know, if you're a little kid, you're going to hear about a lot of famous people. But I never knew about his true impact until, you know, very late teens, early 20s, and even now. Because it seems like every other day I hear some form of argument saying who's better, Michael Jordan or LeBron James. I mean, listen. If you want to say LeBron James is the GOAT, I'm not going to stop you. You're factually wrong, but I'm not going to stop you. If you want to say Michael Jordan is the GOAT, I'm not going to stop you either. Personally, I think he's the GOAT. And I will admit, even I'm factually wrong about that. I can make cases for quite a few players for the GOAT of all time. I could say the same thing about Magic Johnson. I could make an argument for Larry Bird. I could make an argument for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I could make one for Wilt Chamberlain. I mean, honestly, when it comes to, you know, there was one person, I forget his name, because a few years ago when the running for MVP was between James Harden and Giannis Antetokounmpo, and this one analyst had like 4 categories for who the MVP should be. So, I believe the statistics were, statistics, wins, supporting cast, and I know there was a 4th one, but I can't remember what it was. And, I mean, here's the thing. There are some stats that LeBron definitely has over Michael Jordan. I mean, obviously points. I mean, LeBron James is now the all-time leading scorer. He beat Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's record. But here's the thing. LeBron James, for all the flack he sometimes gets, and I have respect for him, but I also make fun of him too. He takes really good care of himself. He takes really good care of himself. Like, I'll be honest, you see photos of him in his early career, and you see photos of him now, he looks virtually the same. Like, him and, like, Tom Brady have been the only athletes I've ever seen that have had such a long tenure doing what they do, and they look exactly the same as they did when they first started. I mean, I'm sure they probably changed their hairstyle a little bit, and, you know, maybe as time goes on, maybe there's a few, you know, wither features, but, you know, they still look the same, and they're able to play at a high level. So, listen, I have respect for LeBron James. I actually do like LeBron James. I really do. But, you know, it's like the nostalgia critic making fun of the movie Hook. Like, he likes the movie Hook, but it's still okay to make fun of it, and that's how I feel about LeBron James. I mean, for those of you wondering, yeah, I could also make some jokes with Michael Jordan too, but here's the thing about Michael Jordan. He got famous, but he didn't really do much outside of that in terms of, like, drawing attention to himself. I mean, yeah, Michael Jordan was in stuff like the first Space Jam movie, but, like, he didn't have any crazy interviews. He didn't, like, draw attention to himself in the limelight. In fact, he kept pretty quiet. It's kind of hard to joke about someone who does that. Meanwhile, LeBron James, in a lot of ways, is the exact opposite. You know, he's always in the spotlight. People are always talking about him. I mean, remember my policy? You know my policy in my videos about I never name names so not to embarrass or offend anyone? One of the exceptions is always famous people. And whenever I name an example of a famous person, my first thought is always LeBron James. You don't even need to be a basketball fan to know who LeBron James is. Like, nowadays, you don't necessarily need to be a basketball fan to know who Michael Jordan is either. But if you're asking a person who's not really familiar with basketball about basketball and ask them to name a player from the NBA, chances are they're probably going to say LeBron James. So, admittedly, it's a bit of a toss-up. I'm always going to probably be rooting more for Michael Jordan over LeBron James. But that's not to say I hate LeBron James at all. I like LeBron James. I just said I like LeBron James earlier. I do like him. It's just easy to make fun of him compared to Michael Jordan. It is. So, yeah, this is just a long-winded way of, talking about basketball. And again, I do like basketball. I really do. I mean, I don't have, the knowledge I have with, some of my other friends. I mean, there's this one of my best friends I knew from Trinity Poly. He was a basketball player, and a really good one. I want to say he was one of the forwards, I think. And, this is 2008, when LeBron James wasn't quite famous yet, but everyone started to know who he was. He would say something that, he was like, I tried to say it later, but then he told me not to. So, I don't know if I can actually say it on camera. Don't worry, it's not the N-word, it's not, good Lord, for the love of God, no, it's not the N-word. But it's still something that I think because I'm white, I can't say. I mean, it didn't sound racist, for sure. So, yeah. Sorry, I know I should have made this video all about the Knicks, but as long as the Knicks won, as long as I was on a basketball team, I might as well talk basketball. So again, to the New York Knicks, to Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, the DiVincenzo guy, I'm sorry, I can't remember his name. All the rest of the people at the Knicks, congratulations. To the fans, I know you were hungry for this. I mean, it's not quite the championship, but, just give it time. As for who I'm thinking about which team is going to win it all this year, I don't know. Again, it's hard to gauge basketball games. It's hard to gauge basketball games than it is for football, simply because, football games are one and done. If you're in the playoffs for football, every game is a game 7. They don't have best of 3 in football. With basketball, though, there's so many variables that, there's a reason why it can go to 7 games. There's sometimes a reason why there's a sweep and, it's only 4 games and you're done. So again, it's hard to gauge. I will say this. I know that the Knicks are the number 2 seed. The Boston Celtics are the number 1 seed. If the Knicks, particularly Jalen Brunson, keep playing the way they're playing, we're going to see an Eastern Conference final with the New York Knicks in it, for sure. Which would probably be the first time since, Jordan had one of his many legendary runs. Sorry, Knicks fans, I had to bring that up. Chances are they're going to be meeting the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. And from what I know, the Celtics are tough. They are. And I think what's really funny, here's what would be funny. Because I remember when, I think his name was Kristaps Porzingis, he was drafted by the Knicks, and all the Knicks fans were roasting him. One of my favorite comedians, Michael Rappaport, he's a huge Knicks fan. He grilled Porzingis not once, but twice. Okay, that's how much everyone hated Porzingis. The fact that he's having success with the Celtics, if he gets to the Eastern Conference Final and he sees the Knicks, that's going to be hysterical to me. With all that said, can the Knicks beat the Celtics in a 7-game series? I don't know. I do know one thing. Jalen Brunson is going to give the Boston Celtics all they can handle. All he has to, we just have to make sure that, all he has to do is make sure that giving, like, the Celtics all they can handle is too much. So, while I will admit I am leaning a little bit towards the Celtics, if it's the Knicks meeting in the Eastern Conference Finals, they're not going to make it easy. And as for the West, I think the Nuggets are going to do it. Why not? I think the Denver Nuggets, I think it's going to be the Nuggets versus the Celtics. I think that's what it's going to be. I would like to see the Knicks win, and I think they can do it. Ooh, Nuggets versus Knicks. That'd be kind of cool. It wouldn't quite be alliteration, but it'd be kind of cool. Because, Knicks begins with the letter K because it's short for Knickerbocker. Which, you know what, I gotta shout out to another one of my favorite comedians, Dustin Nickerson. You find me a more important K in history than the one in either Nickerson or Knickerbocker. You gotta land that, man. You gotta stick it like Simone Biles. Wow. I went to gymnastics. Well, the Olympics are coming up this year, so hey, sports. I hope you like this video. Like, share on YouTube channel, social media. As always, I'm here to help me in this video. For all you guys watching Joe Video, we'll be a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Friday. Remember, you guys want to talk to me, video related about. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.